Welcome to our Sound for Video session. Today is the 13th of April, 2019. I wanted to do a little preface here. This is actually an interview I did with Paul Isaacs at Sound Devices at NAB 2019. And we're going to talk about the Scorpio. Now, the Scorpio is a new mixer and recorder. For those that are not familiar with it, it is $9,000 US. It's brand new. It's our new flagship. Obviously, I am not trying to convince you to buy this. The people who need convincing know who they are and are have already done their research or are getting ready to, or doing their research, whatever. But clearly, this is not a mixer that those of us that are doing much smaller productions need. So the reason I wanted to share this was just so that you can explore and kind of start to see what features pros are looking for when they're working at that kind of high end of the market. That is to say, they're working on the large budget productions where they need a ton of inputs and they need a ton of outputs. So this is just an exploration of that. Now, one other thing I got to look at NAB was I went over to the Zaxcom booth. For those that are not familiar, Zaxcom is one of Sound Devices' major competitors. I would say Sound Devices in the audio for film world is probably has the largest market share of location mixers using their products. But I think that Zaxcom has a bit of that market as well. And so Zaxcom has a new mixer recorder as well called the Nova. And Nova is in their product line and price. It's about where the Sound Devices 633 does. So has 4 microphone inputs. It has 2 additional line inputs. But the interesting thing about the Nova is that on the back, it actually has slots where you can insert 2 Zaxcom dual channel receivers for wireless systems. So you can control your wireless systems right there in the mixer recorder itself, which is kind of a neat new way to do things. Without further ado, here's a look at the Scorpio. Okay, good. We are here at the Sound Devices booth with Paul Isaacs.
Hi, Curtis.
It's great to see you again this year. And one of the things that we've talked about over the last couple of years, 2 years ago, we talked about Mix Pre. Yeah. A lot of excitement about that. Fits a certain level of shooter or recordist or location mixer. Then the next year you have the music versions of the Mix Pre, and this year you have something that I think in the location sound and in the bigger production world we've heard a lot of clamoring for. Mm-hmm. Tell us about what you got here.
Okay, well, we have the Scorpio, which is our new flagship mixer recorder. This is really the best product yet we've ever done. It's an upgrade from the 788 and the 688. You know, we've had many of our 788 users who are still using 788s clamoring for more mic preamps, more tracks, ability to record to more media, just more flexibility with control, and they've been asking us for many years. And to do a project like that is a very enduring task. I mean, it's a very big project, and we've been working on this for some time, and this is the result of that. Okay. And we're very proud of it. So the Scorpio is a 32-channel, 36-track recorder with 16 of our highest quality mic preamps to date. It's a totally new design of preamp. It's got the best specs, the lowest noise figures, great dynamic range, totally new design. All with analog limiters, as you'd expect, and high-pass filters. We even have 3-band EQ. So these features are all very important for the high-end production sound mixer. The guy who's working on film, reality shows with large numbers of talent, and sometimes these reality shows, as you know, can have huge numbers of people. Yeah. But any form of live production, it might be a live TV show with mics scattered all around an audience, or it might be a live music event. This box here will handle all of those applications, and really you can almost think of it as a full live digital console, but in a small battery powered package. Okay. So obviously we've designed it to work over the shoulder. The form factor is similar to a 688. It's actually slightly slimmer. Okay. And it works beautifully over the shoulder. It works with our SL6 integrated wireless system. But we've also enabled it to be controlled if you are working on a cart, because this is going to definitely, in those larger productions with reality shows or film or what have you, you're going to be primarily on a cart, so you're going to want to work with faders. So we've gone down the route of supporting something called the USB MIDI MCU protocol, which is an open standard protocol which has been around for many years, and many USB controllers already on the market support that. And the benefit of this to our customers is that now they have many ways into controlling the unit. Now at launch, we've just chosen one particular fader controller to work with it. It's made by Icon, and this provides control of all 32 channels. Mix of that with all solos, mutes, record arms, EQ, high-pass filters, pans, trims, faders, for all 32 channels. Now this is motorized, so you can very easily bank switch on here and do all of that.
So you've got 4 banks and
4 banks.
Like the master fade, it looks like. Okay.
So this is really for that application. We have also a new remote app. This is not the same as our Wingman app, which we have for our existing 6 series or mixed breed. This is a new app which provides metering again of all 32 channels in nice big form here, but we also have control over solos and arms and mutes and things like that. So this is a great tool for that. And we also have transport controls, record, stop and playback here. And you can enter and edit metadata as well from here. So yeah, there's a lot in this box, and it's a total new design of hardware. It's a very powerful system. So we've designed this to basically have a really long life on the market. The 788, which we developed 12 years ago, is still going. This is of that nature. This product will be around for the next 10, 20 years, no problem. And we know that because we've designed in some power into this piece. It's got 3 FPGAs and multiple processing engines running in there. The user probably doesn't care about that, but what that means to the end user is that we can do almost anything. It will have Dugan, so for people who are doing large-scale conferences, with many, they'll be able to have a Dugan Automix with 16 channels. Only the 16 channels will Dugan will only work with the first 16 channels, not all 32 channels. Dante. Don't know if I mentioned Dante.
Not yet.
Okay, so we feel that Dante is definitely the digital future. And sort of you walk around NAB now, virtually every console, virtually every mic interface is all Dante now. So it's very important to us that we can fit and work in that network. So we can pull in 32 channels over a network, super low latency, all that to 192K. You can even use Dante as an interface to your computer instead of a USB audio interface.
Right, okay.
So there's lots of things you can do there.
And it looked like there were dual inputs on the back, so you have some...
Yes, so you have, it's like a switch, it's a hub. Now, because a device like this has got so many features, powering becomes like an important aspect. So we've really spent a lot of time with this. So you can power the unit. There's 2 external DC ports, so if one goes missing, the other one will take over. You can power from MP1s. We also support smart batteries. I don't know if you know these batteries. Smart batteries is an example.
So the High-Q, is what we refer to as High-Q?
Inspired Energy. We brand our own,
okay.
But they're like, these are standard, like Audio Root, Inspired Energy make them, but we have our own brand. And these provide data telemetry, and which allows us to monitor exact duration of battery time left and other health conditions of the battery. We also, on the rear, have built-in L-mount slots for L-mount batteries. So we recommend to our users, just leave them on the back all the time. You can actually set the unit to charge them whenever they're connected as well. So they can just stay there all the time. At all times
you're going to have power.
They do not stick out. So they're like almost like embedded, recessed.
Okay. So the Hirose input, we don't have Hirose input anymore for
TA4.
Power. TA4. Okay.
Yeah, and the reason we went for that is because it's a higher current thing. We have to, when we design power on these products, is look at how much the absolute maximum power draw is, and then cater to that. Hirose doesn't supply the current required, but in reality, you're never using all that power. Yeah, we've also put in a power management system whereby it will turn off anything that isn't used. So a couple of examples for you. Turn off a mic preamp, everything about it is shut down. The ADC, the actual input, amplifier, and everything. If you haven't got Dante plugged in, the hatch will close because there's a sliding hatch which the connectors fit into. The hatch will close and it will shut down the entire Dante circuitry. So things like that.
Very good. Okay, so this is something for that person working on the higher end productions or the larger productions. This is fantastic. We saw in the Mix Pre that you added later on MIDI control surfaces, which was a really nice thing. From a couple of standpoints, number one, they're fairly affordable, first of all, but you have a variety of choices as well, which was really nice. And I assume at some point in the future, it's MCU protocol, so that opens it up to a lot of different options.
You can make your own if you really want. Yeah, absolutely. But we decided to come out of the chute with this one, and I think the primary reasons were it was full metal chassis. It's very rugged, solid, and we wanted it to be rugged for the environments that it could end up in. And it's also very weighty. You can't slide it along a surface. The faders feel pretty good as well. These are motorized faders. The buttons feel good. You can do all your bank switching here, so access to all 32 channels. So it was we thought a very good open.
A good fit. And then this is actually a fairly affordable mixing surface too. I think it's like a
$500.
Yeah, it's less than.
Now there are expander units for this as well. You can get like an 8-channel fader expansion. So if you want 16 dedicated faders, you can. So we feel that this is a very flexible approach. And it enables people to configure their environment exactly the way they want to work.
Absolutely. It looks absolutely wonderful. Can't wait to get our hands on one and actually put it to work.
And as always, Curtis, there's a lot else going on in there, which I haven't got time for you now, but another time. You get your hands in it and do your review. It'll keep you busy for a good couple of days.
Will indeed. Took you several years to develop it. I'm sure our review will take a while too. Thanks so much, Paul. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.